They say the withdrawal from it is the same as the withdrawal from heroin. Every time you watch porn, the next time it's gonna be something crazier. Fulfill it. It just gets hungrier. That 2 years when I was 15, it became something I was doing every single night, to something I would run to when I got bored. In my opinion, I don't think people who watch porn should be around kids. Demonic, you could see it in a person's face. When you had the ability to cheat on your wife, you would. Okay. So today we're going to talk about something that had a huge effect on my life. Like from the time I was literally 12 years old when I discovered it till all the way up until about 23, 24, it had super control over my life, and it also affected a lot of other things in my life. And I know there are so many other young men who actually go through this as well, where they struggle. As you can see the title, How to Stop Watching Porn, where they struggle with this as well and they don't know how to break out of it. Like, people don't know that porn is so addictive. Again, it's one of those things where, like, if you try to quit, they say the withdrawal from it is the same as the withdrawal from heroin. Like, how addicting it is. Like, it's the same. They've done studies on the brain on porn and a brain on someone who does heroin. They're literally the exact same thing, you know, and that's how addictive this can be. And the way it ruins your life and ruins all of your relationships. It's done in the dark every time. You know, the one reason I think porn is so bad is because it's not like weed. Like, you can go and be with some social friends and be around some friends and you can all smoke a blunt together, right? You can be with some friends and you can all have a drink together. It's kind of a social thing and everybody kind of knows. This is always done in the dark. This is always done in the dark because why? Like any other drug, it has to get stronger, right? It can't just be the same thing once. Every time you watch porn, the next time it's going to be something crazier, freakier, more violent, more weird, right? It can't just be the same thing over and over again, and that's just how your brain works. You cannot feed the flesh and you cannot fulfill the flesh. Every time you try to fulfill it, it just gets hungrier for more, right? And this can lead you down a dark path, especially you know, if you are a man. So I'm gonna start off by telling you guys, like, you know, how I started watching porn back in high school. You know, it was just something. I remember a kid brought like a picture in class of some naked woman, and this is the first time I ever even seen a naked woman. The first time I did anything sexual, I was actually like 13. That's a story for another day. But the first time I ever seen porn, I had to be like 12 or something like that. And some kid brought it to class, and I'd never seen a naked woman before, and I didn't know what to process it. And I remember I went home and I watched porn that day. And for some reason, I just never watched it again for like another 2 years. And after that 2 years, when I was 15, it became something I was doing every single night, okay? Literally taking away my life force every single night, something I was super addicted to, something I would run to when I got bored. And one of the things about this is it's too embarrassing to talk about, so you never talk about it, right? But it ruins it makes you anxious, makes you have social anxiety, makes you socially awkward. There's so many things that come with porn that people don't want to talk about. And all the people that you see today that are coming out, finding out they're doing so many weird things, how there's men out here that are literally letting other men sleep with their wives, is because of their brain that has been affected by the porn that they're watching. So what people don't know about porn is it changes what you get aroused by. So you don't get aroused by the act of actually having sex, you get aroused by the act of watching it. And this is why you see all of these men coming out being some weird cuckold dude in the corner, because they probably watch so much porn that they're like, I might as well get a 3D version. Okay? And let me explain something. When you are watching porn, you are a cuck. There's no difference between you, the guy who sits in the corner and watching it, and you on the phone watching it in your bed. It's weird both ways, and it's also very, very submissive as a man, because you're watching another man do his business with someone, and you're sitting there enjoying this other man do his business with this girl on a screen, right? And this is, for one, this is gay. That's one. This is gay. Two, this is something that makes you lose your testosterone as a man and makes you extremely submissive as a man. You cannot look at yourself as a man in the mirror if you are the type of person that does this, right? But here's the reasons why porn can be so bad, because it's a huge stress reliever, right? So at least you would think it's a stress reliever, but that's what I used to take it as. That's why I would make an excuse. Oh, it relieves stress, right? So I could not go to sleep unless I beat off and watch porn. I could not go to sleep. There was a point in my time in my life where if I did not beat off, I was going to be up for the entire night, right? I used it as a sleeping mechanism. And when you use it as a sleeping mechanism, it becomes something that's so habitual, you don't even realize, you just think this is like some melatonin type shit. When really, I'm doing some weirdo shit on my phone and open up the private browser in order for me to close my eyes, right? And you know, a lot of people get caught in this trap, and you have to understand that if you're caught in the trap of where you can't sleep without porn, that means you're addicted, because now you cannot function without it. Right? It was to the point where, for me, there was a point in time where my favorite thing to do all day was literally just drink and go beat off. Like, that was my favorite thing. I would drink and go beat off and go to sleep. I could not wait for the end of the night to happen just to do that, right? There were times where I would go try to meet up with a woman, and I would say no, and I would just say, I don't even care. I could just beat off anyway, and I don't have to meet up with her, right? And let me go off of that. I've totally given my life to God, so I don't even do anything lustful. I retain myself and deny myself. I'm on semen retention. I do all those things, and I deny myself every day for the glory of God, right? But there was a point in time in my life where I didn't even want to meet a woman, and I would rather just sit there and watch porn, right? And this is the effect it could have on you, because there's no reward system with porn. There's no reward system. There's no action or hard work that involves watching porn, right? There's no action at all. All it does is you can literally lay in your bed, be bored, sit there, and you're like, I'm going to do this tonight. I'm going to do this to arouse myself, okay? I just need the dopamine spike to get high, so I'm gonna go on my private browser. You know, it'll be to the point where I'd be watching porn 3-4 times a day, searching for more dopamine, more dopamine, right? Because as a man, there is not too many better feelings for the flesh than orgasming. I don't know how else to say that, but when you do it, but you have to understand, once you do this, you understand how good it feels, you're gonna try to chase it every time. This is why so many men fall to their lust, because they keep trying to chase this feeling. And no man seems to grasp the fact that you cannot kill this feeling. You cannot get rid of your lust. You have to flee from it. And the only way you do this is every day you wake up and tell yourself you're going to deny yourself, right? Let me explain something. If you're addicted to porn, you're not a bad person, right? You're a person who just feeds his flesh. And this is something you can get over. Now, let me explain something. In my opinion, I don't think people who watch porn should be around kids. I don't want them around my family. And this is coming from someone who used to watch porn, but I haven't watched porn in years. I don't want them around my women I love, because your brain is totally different from a man who doesn't watch porn to a man who does watch porn. You do not have the ability to not look at a woman without lust, if you are consistently watching porn every night, right? And you know you're doing something that is so demonic. You could see it in a person's face when they watch porn. Their face is gray, their skin is unclear, their acne is flaring up. Everything that shows that they're doing in the dark shows in the light through their body. It shows the way they look, it shows the way they talk, it shows in their anxiety, right? There was times in my life where I was watching porn and I couldn't even look somebody in the eye and have a conversation with them. I could not talk to them. I would try to have conversations with people, and it would just be like me. It would literally physically hurt me, right? It would physically hurt me to have a conversation, because at the time I didn't realize it, but it was because the night before I was doing something that I know I shouldn't have been doing, right? And let me explain something for all the men out there who say, oh, it's not that bad, it's not that bad. It is that bad. This is not something, I just do it every once in a while. I just do it every once in a while. You watch another man do his business every once in a while, you're a fucking weirdo. You are a weirdo, bro. Okay? Like, this is you have to get this completely out of your life. And the sooner you go cold turkey from this, the sooner you get this addiction out of your life, the better I'm telling you, your life will skyrocket. Your mental health will skyrocket. Let's not even talk about how your dopamine receptors are fucked when you're watching porn. They're totally screwed. They're messed up all the way. When you are a consistent, adamant porn watcher, when you go outside into the world, right, you're going to lose the color in the earth. You're not going to see people for people. You're not going to enjoy things. You're not going to enjoy anything. Everything in the world is dull. Because your dopamine receptors are so like below baseline, right? I think I'm using that term correctly. Like, they're so below baseline. They're so mundane. You need such a high just to have any feeling of excitement that the regular everyday world seems so boring. So it cuts your attention span. It cuts your ambition. It cuts your charisma. It cuts your joy. It cuts everything. You don't have the attention span to do anything else when you're watching porn, because the porn is too much. It's too much on the brain. Your brain was not meant to see this many sexual acts. Your brain was only meant to see as a human, one naked human body, and you were meant to see a sexual act with one person. That is the way God created it. And when you're doing it with multiple partners, or when you're watching multiple people sleep with each other or have sex on a screen every single night, it's going to screw up your brain chemistry. And now every time you go outside, you don't know, like, it's just like, it's like, bro, it hurts to just be in the regular world because it seems so unexciting, right? So one thing that happened once I gave up porn and once I stopped watching it forever is life became better. Life became more colorful, and I was more excited, and I enjoyed more things, my ambition, and I worked harder as well, right? And here's another thing, right? When I was watching porn, I had a girlfriend at the time. And this is something that really hurts me, but I'm gonna still talk about it. I remember people don't realize the effect it has on your loved ones, right? So the effect it had on the woman I was with is she lost a lot of confidence and she became very insecure in herself because of what I was watching on my phone every single night. And I would pretend like I wasn't doing it when I was doing it, and she would catch me and I would say this, but it would have such an effect on her mental health that she didn't even want to look in the mirror, right? And it hurts me every day that I did this to a woman, but this is why you want to give it up, because it has a true effect on the people you love. It has a true effect on the people you care about, and if you have an addiction, do not get in a relationship with a woman, because, you'll end up hurting her, like I did. Like, she could not even, she was so insecure in herself, because you understand, as a woman, she's trying to live up to the expectations of these women you're watching on the screen, and she just cannot do it. She cannot do it. You're watching some of the most perfect, put together on-screen bodies, and she's trying to live up to this, and your brain is somewhere totally different. You're not excited by looking at your girl because you are constantly have your phone and a screen every single night watching a bunch of women do a whole bunch of stuff or whatever you're watching, and she's trying to live up to it, but she physically can't, right? So if you are a man with a porn addiction, do not get in a relationship. And if you're a woman and you know a man and your man has a porn addiction, I highly suggest leaving him, okay? Because it's not you. There's no problem with you, it's him. Okay, and this is coming from a man who ruined a woman's whole confidence because of his porn habit, right? So yeah, I'm gonna just leave that there. Yeah, and another thing is, people don't want to talk about it, but there's a lot of husbands out here who sit here and pretend. Like, I know grown men with daughters and wives who sit there and watch porn and think there's nothing wrong with it. Listen, porn is adultery. Okay, it's adultery. Okay. And it's adultery because you're still lusting, right? And for all the husbands that watch porn, let me explain something. If you had the ability to cheat on your wife, you would. You just can't get a woman to cheat with you. So because you can't get a woman to cheat with you, you think that you're coping by saying, yeah, it's just eye candy. It's just eye candy. Your wife should be your only eye candy. Porn is adultery, okay? If you have daughters and you watch porn, shame on you. Shame on you. If you have women in your life, nieces, whatever the case may be, a mother, and you're watching porn, you don't understand what they do to these women in this industry. And let me explain something. There's a stat that says 85% of women who do scenes cry after or before the scene because of the embarrassment and because of the humiliation that they're going through. So I want you to understand this. A lot of these women don't want to do this. It's for a check. And they have to sit there and be an actor. So you're really watching a woman do something against her will on the screen to feed your flesh every single night. You're participating in something that is, who knows if they're getting trafficked? Who knows? The demonic experience of porn is so bad, it's not even funny. Just look at the effect it has on the earth. There's women out here that turn 18, 19 years old, get an OnlyFans page, and they're making $2-3 million in the first day because of some weird grown men who are just paying for what God knows what is going behind that OnlyFans paywall. Okay, some of the men these days, I'm so ashamed to sometimes even be associated with it because of what they're doing. And you as a man, it's so easy to get ahead because there's men out here doing shit like that, paying for OnlyFans for 18, 19-year-old girls, disgusting people. This could be a doctor, this could be a lawyer, this could be your professor, your teacher, your uncle, who knows? I don't know who these men are. They never come out. They usually stay in the dark. I wish you kind of had to put their ID on screen and they had to be exposed for paying for shit like this, because I don't want to put myself around men who do this or pay for OnlyFans. Okay, I don't want to be around men I don't want to be around porn addicted men because I don't trust them. I don't trust them around women I love, right? Okay, so it's a lot of effects. You lack self-worth. You lack self-worth. You're gonna have ED problems. There's a huge issue right now where men between the ages of like 16 to 25 have an erectile dysfunction problem. Like a statistic came out the other day. I'm like, 15 to 25, those are like your peak ages, bro. Like, this is why honey packs and all these things are so big, because men just can't stay aroused long enough because they're sitting there watching porn all day. Like this is to the point where we've gotten. Like, the men have fallen so short and they have become sheep. They become sheep. Literally, porn was created to docile men, to neuter men. And there are men just falling right into the trap every single day. Every single day. Like, I'm telling you, bro, this is going to ruin your life if you don't stop. Okay, it's gonna ruin your life. It's a drug and makes everything else underwhelming. You know, and one thing about the gooners is that they smell. You know, any adamant gooner, I can just see that they smell a lot, bro. Like, I don't know what it is about someone who's an adamant gooner, but they usually smell, and they have like this distinct smell that I smell when I walk outside, and it disgusts me. And I